Hey bestie, check out the lighting in here. The overhead light kind of has, I don't know, the lampshade on it kind of looks like a basket. It's giving us weird shadows on the wall. That's the second thing that's made a song, like an old song, pop into my head. My camera wasn't focusing when I was gonna start this video, and the song blurry popped in my head. Who is that? Puddle of mud. And then shadows on the wall. What is that, like is that Unwell, that lyric? It's like Matchbox 20 or something. I don't think it's Matchbox 20. Anyway, how's it going, bestie? Florida tonight. We're in Fort Lauderdale. This is auntieqasmr. Another video tonight. It's been a second. Just been working. Was sick for a little bit. Nothing terrible. It's just pretty back to back ever since cold and flu season started, so that's been a little bit annoying. I tried to record a video for you, I think like last week. I was in New York City, and we stay at this new hotel when we're in New York City, and it's not as quiet as the other one, which kind of surprises me, because quiet, I mean, that's difficult in New York, no matter where you are. But our old hotel was in Times Square. Now, we're still in Manhattan, but we're like closer to Grand Central Station, and for some reason I just feel like Times Square should be louder. But I wasn't up on a high floor this past stay in New York, and that always helps. I was only on like the 5th floor, so you could definitely hear the cars and stuff, and the constant honking, the sirens. New York is so loud, but I love it there. But I was disappointed that I wasn't able to make a nice quiet video for you, because I had a fun day. I was excited about it. I think I had purposefully asked for a trip to New York. There was a restaurant that I wanted to try. I went to an Azerbaijani restaurant for like my late lunch, early dinner. It was great. I had like tea and pastries prior to that at a Uyghur place I think it was called Lagman Express. And then the Azerbaijani restaurant was called, it was like Village Cafe or something. There's a girl on here, she's probably on TikTok too, but I'm not on TikTok, so I see her YouTube shorts. She lives in New York, and she is going through the New York Times top 100 restaurants in New York City list and trying each one of them, so that's where I found out about both of those places actually. But I was like, I'd never had Azerbaijani food before, let me try it. But I'm not surprised that I really liked it, because I mean, quite frankly, I didn't even know where Azerbaijan was on a map. But it's kind of in like Eurasia. It's over by kind of like the Balkans and Turkey, and all the food from over there I'm quite a fan of. I had like yummy bread and livers and shish kebabs of veggies. And then one of my other friends, aside from you, of course, lives in New York City. He's also a flight attendant. We went through training together, or we went through part of training together. Because I got COVID during training, I was a member of 2 different training classes. He was in the second class that I joined once I returned to training after COVID. So whenever I'm in New York City, if I have like a longer layover where I can go out for the day, and if he's not also at work off somewhere else in the world, we try to see each other. And we just met up for dessert in like downtown Manhattan area. We went to a French bakery that primarily does eclair, and so I got one while we were there, and then I got one to take back to the hotel with me, because my friend also so kindly brought me snacks. He lives around Queens, Flushing neighborhood, and he's Chinese, so he brought me some of his favorite Chinese snacks that I'd never tried before. And I was like, this is great. I can do like a little kind of like mukbang video, because I know that you guys really enjoy those. I haven't done many, but I did one for Thanksgiving, and then I posted a short of some food that I was cooking for myself recently. If you hadn't seen that, I've been really enjoying being in the kitchen lately, making some good food. And a couple of the comments suggested that I should have done a mukbang with that. But I finished cooking and I was just ready to eat. So anyway, I took the snacks and the eclair back to the hotel, and it was just so loud. I tried to not record at the desk, because the desk is usually in front of the window and it's louder. And I got as far back as like basically being in the bathroom, and it was just still too loud, because then the bathroom was by the door and it just wasn't working. I was getting frustrated, and it seemed like every time I stopped and tried to reset, it would get quiet for a second. So then I was just getting kind of pissed off. So I canned it. I stopped doing that video. I don't really remember what I was doing after that, trips-wise. I recently did go back to San Diego, though. I went home. That was really nice. That was last week. What day did I go? I went for like the long weekend. I think I got in on Thursday. Or maybe Wednesday. It was like 4 days that I was there, I think. And I had to fly back on Saturday because I had work early on Sunday. I was really trying to switch to a trip that reported on Monday, but no other flight attendants wanted to trade with me, and I could not trade against the open calendar because the days that I were trying to drop were capped. More capped than the days that I was trying to switch on to, which basically just means they need the coverage worse on the days that I was trying to get rid of, so they wouldn't let me get rid of them. But I wanted to do that because Andrew Santino is on tour right now with his latest hour of comedy, and I love Andrew Santino. I saw him once at the Balboa Theater in San Diego years ago, and he brought out the whole Bad Friends podcast crew as his opening acts, and took my best friend with me to see that, left with sore cheeks and sore sides. And then I went to the Bad Friends podcast live show when it toured to Minneapolis like a year ago. Same thing, left sore. Two of the best like comedy shows I've been to. So I wanted to take my parents with me. I think my dad would have liked it. I don't think my mom would have liked it so much because she doesn't. She likes her comedy a little bit more intelligent, a little bit more clean cut. She likes the Dry Bar Comedy YouTube channel. I think that club is in like Utah or something. They don't like cuss. But my dad knows who Bobby Lee is. He's the other dude on Bad Friends because we grew up watching Mad TV when Bobby Lee was on it. So my dad would have had a good time. But I couldn't stay. But Andrew Santino is recording his special in Minneapolis later this month. He's doing 2 nights in Minneapolis at the end of February, and I bought myself a ticket to go see him. And there's another comic in town that same weekend, and I might go to that too. I probably will, because I've been working so much, and that's kind of the trouble. Like, I love my job, so then like I do my job also for fun, which is great because I'm having fun and I'm making money, but then like I don't feel like the absence of any other hobbies because I enjoy what I'm already doing when I'm at work. But then like recently I've been cooking again, and then when I was in San Diego I went hiking again, and another friend of mine took me to like kind of like a deathcore show of some small local bands from up and down California, and I think one of the bands was from Orlando and one of them was from Chicago. The headliner was called Victims, and the band from Florida was called Heavy Hitter, and the bands from California were called Salt Wound and Freetown Forest. And it was like a small venue show, because I've been going to like Tool shows and Deftones concerts, and those are always at like giant arenas, so I hadn't been to like a small venue like local band show since like practically high school. There's a venue in Southern California called Soma, San Diego. And we used to see like, and this was back in the day, this was like 10 years ago, 10 to 14 years ago. I graduated high school in 2014. So from like freshman year all throughout high school, I would go to Soma like 15 years ago. I know that like these bands are like very well known now and they probably play bigger venues, but we would go and see like Amur and Asking Alexandria and like Attila, and I want to say like even like Suicide Silence, and I know that they're like famous now, and I don't have band merch from the small shows. It's cute though, because at the small shows like the bands themselves sell the merch. They don't have like a big team or anything, so you just go and like hang out at the merch tables and it's the bands. It's really cool. I haven't been to anything like that in so long. And it's like I forget how much I like doing that other stuff, because now I get paid to travel, and that's like my number one thing that I love doing and I've always aspired to do. But I forget that there's other things that exist that I also enjoy doing, like hiking. And going to shows, and I enjoy stand-up, and I love cooking. When I was in San Diego, my mom, she had bought some oven-safe Pyrex glass, like meal prep containers from Costco. And my dad just got back from a trip to Southeast Asia. He went to Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Thailand, and I think that's all of them. And he brought me back some Cambodian Kampot black pepper, which I've heard of before. It's supposed to be like really special. So I made salt and pepper chicken wings. I followed a Cambodian recipe / method for frying chicken. It's batter fried and not breaded fried. And they turned out delish. Of course, I'd already ate so much that day because that's all I do when I'm in California. I eat all the food that I can't get in the Midwest, like In-N-Out and good Mexican food. But then I went on that hike with my friend, and then I invited my other friend over to cook with me. And I usually cook until late when I'm at my parents' house because I'm busy, like, hanging out and, going out with them, seeing my friends. But I think it took me until like 8 p.m. to finish it. It was going to be like my late night snack. My dad was already asleep. My mom was already asleep. So she lent me 2 of the meal prep containers, and I took the rest of them home. I just had 3 days, something like that, off since that trip I returned to. So I was eating my chicken wings, and I had these 2 meal prep containers, and I had like 2 consecutive days off, and my mom said that they were no longer selling the meal prep containers in Costco, but they are the kind that I need because if you're going to reheat your personal food in the aircraft oven, which is much more preferable than using the microwave at the hotel room, then you have to have something that's oven safe, and these Pyrex are, and all of the other ones that I've seen only say that they're microwave safe, not oven safe. But then they have this little silicone thing, like a koozie kind of, or like a foot, so that they don't clank around when you're carrying them, because I just got a lunchbox for my suitcases. So I used the couple days that I had off to prep up all this food. I went to Costco, and I did 2 racks of lamb in the sous vide with like, garlic and spices. I used some of the Cambodian pepper that my dad got me. And then I also got a leg of lamb, and I braised that. There's a good braising recipe that I've adapted from a Bon Appetit recipe for short ribs. And it's basically whatever dried peppers I have on hand. I used guajillo, ancho, chipotle, and I think like a couple pasillas, and charred yellow onion and garlic, and just like anise, clove, black cardamom, regular cardamom, cumin seeds, fennel seeds, peppercorns, bay leaf, all of that toasted. I didn't have any cheesecloth, and I wasn't willing to make 2 trips, and the one store that I went to didn't have it either, so I bought coffee filters and I just tied it up with twine, and that worked. And I did it in my pressure pot. I've only used my pressure pot like a couple of times because it scares me, and I also kind of feel like it's cheating, even though like physics wise, like it's not real. It's like the pressure makes the food, it does the same thing, but it does it faster, But I'm not a fan of shortcuts in the kitchen. I don't know why. Like, I'm very anti-air fryer. But usually I'll do the braise on the stovetop, and it'll take like 8 hours. I used the pressure pot, did it in like 2 or 3. Sounds cool. I think I was gonna do it in 2, and then I mixed up my plans. I thought I had plans for Tuesday, and it turns out I had plans for Monday. So I added like another hour, and then I came back to finish it. It was perfect. And then I made saffron rice and charred broccolini. That's like one of my favorite veggies to eat, but it has to be charred. I love it burnt. So it took like 2 days to prep that. I did the meats one day, the rice and the veggies the next day, and then the next day I also reduced down the sauce, put it all in the fridge, came back on the final day, and I put it in vacuum sealed bags. That was my idea because my mom found the same containers but online, so she ordered them for me, and I'm gonna be in San Diego on Saturday again for work, so I'm gonna get them. But it's only a pack of 5, which should be plenty because I'm only ever gone for 3 days at a time. And usually it's like you'll leave in the morning and you might come back in the morning on the final day, so you need like breakfast, dinner, and then maybe breakfast, but not usually a full 3 days worth of meals. It's usually more like 2.5 days worth of meals, if you get what I mean. So 5 should be plenty, but then I thought, like, I don't really want to carry around 5 because the lunchbox that I got is already like a little bit too big than it needs to be, but I didn't realize that until it was already too late to return it, so now I'm just gonna make it work. But since I have the sous vide and the vacuum seal and everything, I portioned all the food that I made into, I think it was like 15. I think I got like 15 meals out of it, which will last me for a long time because I'm only going to eat them while I'm at work, and then when I'm at home I'll still cook. Put them in the freezer, and then I'll bring 2 containers with me. Like, I'm on a 2-day trip right now. I brought the 2 glass containers, each full with breakfast. I do the extra protein Greek yogurt. It has like 15 grams of protein, and then I add another scoop of protein powder, and then I add granola and berries. So I brought 2 of those for my breakfast, and then after I ate the first one this morning, I washed it, and then the idea was that when I got to the hotel tonight, I would have the clean, empty one, and I would just open the vac bag and put my now not frozen, like partially thawed dinner in it, and then I could just reuse it. That way I don't have to carry more than 2 of these clunky glass dishes at the same time. Pretty good idea. Well, lo and behold, I show up to work today. Great crew. Wonderful crew. One girl I recognized immediately. One girl I thought I recognized, and the last girl to be honest, I didn't really recognize, but they all recognized me. It turns out I've flown with each one of them before. And the girl that I recognized immediately, I've flown with twice. So that kind of makes sense. Like, twice is enough for me to be sure that I know you. But you see so many people in this job. We are all chill and we vibe. And so, of course, the first day that I have like this fabulous, I brought the lamb racks. I don't know, do you call them lamb chops after you cut them up? I always thought that lamb chops was a different cut of meat, but I always see people refer to sliced up, like pre-portioned racks of lamb, like with the individual bone. I see them call those chops, and I don't think that that's the same thing, but if we're calling them that, then I portioned it into 3 chops with veggies and rice, and I brought that. And then I have this great crew, and of course we hit it off, so of course, you know, we're all Minnesota based, and it's freezing and snowing in Minnesota right now. Like, the way I drove to work this morning was not safe. Okay, like frozen. And we get to Fort Lauderdale, and of course it's warm, and we're having a good time. We're liking spending time together. So of course we go out to happy hour at a Mexican food restaurant, El Camino on what's it called? It's like Los Obres or something. There's like a thoroughfare down here in Fort Lauderdale that has like all the shops and restaurants that one of the girls knew about. So we went and walked down there, and then we selected this restaurant, and like I was curious to see like what's the Mexican food in Florida, like what'll that do for me as somebody who's constantly complaining about not having San Diego Mexican food anymore. And it was delish, but it wasn't perfect. One thing that is always like not quite right are the tortillas, and this was like just not quite right. They're never like soft and pliable and like the right texture, and this was that. But the fillings and everything was delish. So, and the happy hour prices were fantastic. I spent $20. I got 2 tacos, a little quesadilla, some chicharron, and a margarita for $20. It was delish. It was really good. Can't complain. And I got to hang out with the crew. And then I didn't eat my dinner, but the hotel that we're staying at is like weirdly like a whole apartment, like, and that's a couple of the hotels that we stay at in Florida. But this one, literally, it has a full-size fridge, lots of cupboards, a dishwasher, a cooktop with a vent hood over it. I don't even have a vent hood in my own home apartment. I have to crack a window and take the smoke alarm down every time I need to sear something. Sink with utensils, soap, dish soap, and laundry or dishwashing pods all provided. So it would have been in pots and pans. So I could have reheated my delicious lamb dinner on the stovetop and yielded like a better texture than the microwave ever would have. But of course I didn't, because I went out with my crew for happy hour, but that's okay, because it's in the freezer now, because there's a freezer in this room. So I can just take it back home tomorrow and save it for another day. And I only work 1 flight tomorrow, directly back to Minnesota. And then I have the rest of tomorrow off. And I feel like baking something. I felt like baking something on day 3 of my last couple of days off, because I was done with like the meal prep, but I was really enjoying myself. So I wanted to bake something and have like a sweet little treat. But I just couldn't think of what I wanted to bake. I made a lot of macaron recently, and those are good, but I'm not going to make those again until Mother's Day. My mom was pretty excited about how good the ones that I made for my friend looked. And I'll give myself points for creativity. I really did turn a key lime pie into a macaron, and I didn't tell him what I made. And he messaged me on Instagram after he tried one. He was like, all caps, key lime pie? I was like, yes, you knew what I was going for. You got it. You got what I was doing. It's very satisfying. And that's really fun. Like, I like, if I know you and I love you, I'm going to know what your favorite dessert is, and I'm either going to make it really well, or I'm going to take it a step further and make like a spin on it. Like, I wanted to make them and originally mail them to my friend in California, and you can't mail a key lime pie, but macaron travel well and they age well, so I decided to turn it into macaron. And like, I'm brainstorming something right now for somebody else, and it's something that they would like. I don't really think that it would be my favorite thing, so I don't really want to make it for myself. It's cookies. I'm not huge on cookies. I like pastries. And cakes and creme brulees and stuff like that. I'm not a huge cookie person, so it's not something that I want to make tomorrow to tinker with for my own entertainment. But I don't know what it is that I want to make. Like, I have the itch to bake something. And I have, like, of course, a lot of YouTube playlists and a lot of things saved on Instagram, and I was scrolling through them. One of my favorite channels for baking is Preppy Kitchen. John Cannell from Preppy Kitchen. He's the one that helped me get good at making macaron, because he, like, really is thorough. And, Love his videos. Always informative. Stuff looks delish. And I was like, surely if I just scroll his channel, something will jump out at me. And not because of him, but nothing did. I just like I had the urge, but not the inspiration. So if you can think of anything fun for me to make and bake, please comment down below, because I think that's what I want to do tomorrow. We were flying from Raleigh to Fort Lauderdale, and we got a notification on our phones about a winter storm coming in to Minneapolis again. Set to come in at midnight on Saturday, and I'll be home the remainder of Friday. So I'll get in the morning tomorrow. I can go straight to the store, get anything that I don't already need or don't already have, and then I can just hang out in my apartment with my cats and my plants and bake and watch Netflix as the weather slowly deteriorates, and I won't have to go anywhere or do anything until the next morning when I have work. That sounds like fun to me, but I just don't know what to make. So if you could please give me some suggestions, I would appreciate it. I would also appreciate a shower, because I did like the full face today, because I am the lead flight attendant on this trip, so people be looking at me. I have to be looked at. And so I did like the whole eyebrows, mascara, the whole lippy, blush, complexion stuff. I gotta do it again tomorrow, so I gotta go take a good shower and then wake up in time. So I'm gonna go now. But please comment down below if you think of anything fun that I can bake tomorrow. I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.